Live. Hello and welcome once again to It's My YouTube and I blog if I want to, the place where our production values are so high that it come to find out that I've been going on for about a half hour before I realized that I wasn't recording. Wow. Anyway. Sorry, it's just mildly embarrassing. Uh, my wife is going to, oh my God. Wow. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I actually was going on for about a half hour talking about my costuming projects and talking about a lot of different things and realized the entire time that I wasn't actually broadcasting. Ow, yeah, sorry, my eyes. Oh, there it is. Sorry, I had eyelash in my eye. Okay, well, seeing as well what I was talking about in the first place, these are actually from the make your own sonic screwdriver kit. I actually picked it up on Amazon. The actual kit itself has enough parts for three sonics. There's only one. Yeah. There's only one sound and light unit. I actually ended up getting both. I actually am getting, the base kit as well as the transtemporal one that was supposed to, which the way they were putting it out was supposed to be the Doctor's new sonic screwdriver. This sound and light unit, on the other hand, I'm having issues with the sound. For some reason, the speaker just keeps cutting out on it. Uh, so I don't know if I'll even bother with that, or I may end up just going ahead and just getting another one because the transtemporal sonic kit didn't cost that much, so I got no problem trying to replace it. I'm trying to replace it anyway, but yeah, I've actually mixed and matched. A couple of things or whatever. These were the two left over from the reject parts. Because I actually have a much better 11th Doctor sonic screwdriver. Technically, it's a 12th Doctor just because it's the upgraded version where instead of having the activation button, it's got like a touch sensitive collar on it, so you can actually just by holding it in the middle, in whether it's in the open or closed position, you can still, by holding it in the same thing. But it also has a removable power core on the end, so that was actually kind of cool. But yeah, these were the two that I actually put together as my personal, Sonics. And this was actually my preferred, you know, personal Sonic. Which actually I have to admit, if given various choices and whatever else, that yeah, I like this one. The only thing different that I would have about it is that I would actually have this orb actually be able to open on the quadrants, or even just the halves. But yeah, I would actually want it so that these opened on the quadrants. And also the other thing about the make your own Sonic kit is the sound emitter holes where you would normally naturally hold it actually covers up the hole. So you just got to kind of learn to. So you just got to kind of learn how to adjust your grip. So that way it doesn't block the sound holes. But I actually will be putting together a much more detailed and coherent tutorial set. But yeah, how to use various things in your prop building and design, as well as how to, like, if I wanted to make a solid version of this that didn't come apart. Yeah, this is actually the sound and light unit that goes into the thing. But yeah, if you're doing prop design and everything else, and how to do reference pictures and things like that, I'm learning to use Blender, which is a nice 3D modeling program. Uh, well, anyway, on to my actual costuming stuff. If you've been paying attention to my videos, then you know about this guy. This is the Darth Vader redesign that I'm doing for my build this year. Uh, this is actually a friend of mine, a guy named Diaxis. He actually was doing a full Darth Vader thing, and I told him what specifically I wanted was basically just the mouth grill. He ended up actually doing the entire mouth area, which really worked out much better than I could actually hope for. Because now, rather than having to do a bunch of cutout and whatever else, I did have to do that right there so that allow it to kind of actually fit on better. But rather than trying to figure out how to get that in there and attached and all, the way this goes, it actually creates a small hollow area in there where later on I can come back with some like electroluminescent panel and cut that to shape and have that in there, and then actually be able to run the wiring and everything through there as well, which also makes things very convenient. But I'll be able to actually rig that to like a microphone and make it sound reactive. Depending on how creative I decide to get with that, I might even be able to do like the Knight Rider effect, where as I talk, these, the bars of light basically will expand and contract with how I talk. It just really depends on just how much effort I decide I want to put into that part of it. But yeah, this, obviously having no side or back, I'm doing a base helmet. I was going to use this. It was a Magneto helmet. And I had some ideas that I wanted to do for, for how the helmet fit on. And I really didn't like the big, deep widow's peak, thing that went here. And I didn't like the way that it sat here. And I also realized that I opened it up too much. But realistic, I realized later on what the major problem was that while I'm trying to harden it, unless I actually were to go and put just some bracing, which is, very simple. I mean, you can just basically, the best bracings that I've seen actually are simple long triangle prism made out of cardboard, basically, that you would just have sitting in there that would just hold this and not let it do that while you're doing the hardening process. I just didn't feel like doing bracing for this. So what I actually will be doing for the base helmet rather than the Magneto is I'm actually going to be using a modified Boba Fett helmet. Guy that I'm friends with in one of my Pepakura groups, he actually had a Boba Fett design. And so he and I were talking, and I ended up actually telling me I wanted to try to learn to do editing and whatever else. And he actually taught me a couple of good, he taught me about, he hasn't actually taught me how to do it, but there's ways that you can change like the orientation or the alignment of your 3D model. So that way, if somebody was to go and do what I normally do, which is I find 3D models out there that are freely distributed, whatever, but some people will pirate them. But what I do is I personally, I do everything legit, by the way. But there are like I said, there are people who will pirate models and put them out there as their own. But what he does is he always has small imperfections that he can go back and say that my model does this, and this, and then he could point to somebody who's trying to say that's their model and actually show his authenticity marks, basically. I was actually able to correct the two parts that and I think he deliberately made it so that I could correct it because I told him I wanted a symmetrical. I want dead mirror image. But the problem was when I went to take the model that he released publicly and told him exactly what I was going to do with it, he actually I'm glad he resisted laughing his ass off, like at least to my face. Because I wasn't able to get the model to form one complete piece. There was like this edge in the middle that I couldn't get rid of which made it 2 halves. Now, I could have very easily just built the 2 halves and then just run a piece of cloth tape or whatever over that seam, and then just put hardening or, the resin, the wood glue, whatever else, no problem. But I just wanted a unified piece. So he ended up actually doing the quick correction for me, which I then put into Blender, split, and actually corrected a couple of the vertices, which now made the thing completely, symmetrical, and just finished my unfolds for that. The Boba Fett model had the 2 earpieces that we a lot of times we call them. One was very tall, and that was the one that little eyesight piece, flipped up and down out of, while the other was a smaller piece. I took the model and I flipped it symmetrical on for both sides. And while I like the symmetrical version of the larger ear one, it doesn't really work that well with what I wanted to do. Originally, I wanted the helmet I wanted the Iron Man, I wanted the Darth Vader piece, to kind of flip up like Iron Man. But I realized, I'm not going to be able to get it exactly the way that I want to do it that way. So I'm going to end up probably doing a straight up rotation hinge. I was also going to just have it where you could just pull it off, like the Predator mask, and just use a couple of magnets to keep it on there. But I'm like, I want to actually kind of, put some effort into this and use some engineering skills on it. And just the way that the shorter ear version is, it's just going to make that a little bit easier to actually do the hinging, because I wanted to worry so much about what I'm having to clear and everything, and having that means I just have a bit more access to stuff and all. And then later on, I can always just build the other version and then just kind of go from there and all. Anyway, I was going to talk about some other things, but the fact is that like I said, I've been going on for about a half hour before I even realized that I wasn't recording or wasn't broadcasting or whatever. I'm sorry about video quality. I don't know why the color is off the way it is. I do have a couple of other solutions I'm going to try, because I really just want to get better quality videos. I do have another webcam, which, by the way, I actually like this webcam. I don't know how well you can see it, but okay, actually, yeah, with this you can actually see pretty well. But there are LEDs all around that where, if nothing else, even if I was to never reinstall the drivers for this, I could always just plug this into the USB port and then just use the control dial. Oh wow, I forgot I actually have it plugged in. But what I like about that is, even if I wasn't ever to use this as a webcam, I could very easily just kind of set this on my desk and then have a work light for when I'm soldering and stuff like that. So this is actually pretty good. And then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to actually, I probably am going to reinstall the drivers for it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to actually have where I can use it for soldering. That way I just kind of have it sitting in front of me, and that way I can look at the screen to see whatever else. Because, mostly just to basically just try to see if I can get the convenience features worked out. And like I said, I forgot that I even had that thing plugged in. Well, anyway, I'm going to cap this off so that I can actually get ready for bed and all. And, like, wow, this video ended up even worse than I had actually thought it was going to be. But in any event, thank you for continuing to watch, and have a nice day. If you're checking out my channel because of my promotion on the promote your YouTube thing or whatever, I never said I was a professional. I just said I'm just an opinionated bastard with a YouTube channel. Well, anyway, thank you for watching, and have a nice day.